Welcome back to the Whiskey Couch. My name is Gustav Miller. I'm your host, and today's whiskey is the third in a short series of Taiwanese whiskies that I'm reviewing. Today, the Kavalan Concertmaster. All of the Kavalan whiskies has got some kind of musical theme in their titles or in their names, and this one is the Kavalan Concertmaster. Single malt from the King Car Kavalan Distillery. This distillery was founded in 2005. It's only 12 years old and it's producing world-class whiskies. It's owned by the King Car Food Industrial Corporation and it's situated in Yilan County in Taiwan. It was named after Kavalan, was named after the Kavalan people, who were the indigenous people that originally inhabited this northeastern corner of the island of Taiwan. Concertmaster today, we've already reviewed the Sherry Cask Solist and the Vino Barrique Cask Solist, and today we're looking at the Port Cask Concertmaster. This whiskey was matured in ex-Bourbon casks and then finished in 3 different port casks, the Tawny, Ruby and Vintage port casks. Now in Taiwan, they have an advantage because of the marine tropical, much warmer climate than in Scotland. The maturation process is much faster because the interaction between the spirit and the wood in the cask is much more aggressive because of the higher temperatures. So the result is you get a mature whiskey much quicker than in the colder climates such as Scotland. It also means that the angel share, the evaporation through the porous casks, is much higher. It's around 10% per year compared to the around 2 to 3% in Scotland. So this whiskey bottled at 43% ABV, alcohol by volume. It doesn't say anything about chill filtering or coloring, so that is a bit of a mystery, but I'm going to enjoy this port cask. It's a brownish red color according to the packaging. Brownish red. Let's see what the information on this packaging is. Beautiful bottle, green bottle there. On the back there's a whole story about the mists of the Taiwan and the source of the water that they use, but they say here the color pleasant brownish red, and then on the nose you can expect tropical fruitiness with honey, vanilla, coconut and candy floss. On the palate, rich bodied with natural sweetness and complexity. We'll see if I agree with that today. Here we go. On the nose, the honey and the vanilla I agree with. It's immediately there. I'm not getting the candy floss and the coconut so quickly. Bit of tropical fruit I agree with. I'm picking up a wonderful rich berry jam. Christmas spices, just a hint of Christmas spices, dark chocolate. It's very similar to a sherry cask whiskey, port cask whiskies. See, both sherry and port come from the grapes, so quite some similarities between the two. But this is a classic port cask whiskey. The baking spices, the Christmas cake, the berry jam, the dark chocolate. Quite a decent whiskey. 43%, but the feeling on the palate is like it's more closer to a 50%. So quite an alcohol burn there. The spiciness is right there, but mixed with that, the richness and the sweetness from the port casks, I get a complex impression as if there are layers of flavors wanting to reveal themselves. I'm getting the vanilla and honey and dark chocolate flavors straight up together with those Christmas spices, but quite spicy, I must say. Poured cherry, stewed fruit, like thick and chewy berry jam. Quite dry in the end. It's got a medium long finish with the sweet flavors, but also the spicy, the bitter chocolate, and then a dryish end. Almost like the tannins of the port tannins left in the wood. A bit of an astringent pulling together kind of effect. I've added a few drops of water. I don't want to add too much. Bottled at 43% ABV, you shouldn't add too much water. Oh, more port sherry coming out. More of those port grape flavors. I must say, a few drops of water really has an improving effect. It's less dry, it's more creamy, it's more smooth, but that slight bitterness is still there in the end, just sort of balancing out the sweetness and the spiciness. Quite a decent whiskey, but I must say, the Vino Barrique right here, that is still my favorite. Kavalan Solist Vino Barrique. This one, price-wise, it cost around $90 US, about £60 in the UK, and here in South Africa, 1,000, more or less, 1,000 South African Rand. If you want to pair this whiskey with a food snack, what comes to mind immediately is to try to connect with the chocolate flavors in here. The dark chocolate, dark bitter chocolate flavors. And of course the richness, the rich fruitcake flavors. You can also try to connect with that. So any kind of chocolate dessert, any kind of chocolate or chocolate covered raisin will be ideal. But even a small cracker with cream cheese and a bit of dark berry jam, that'll also go very well with this. For today, I've chosen a decent chocolate mousse. So I'm going to see what a chocolate mousse dessert will do with this whiskey. So I've already had my sip and I've coated my mouth. And now I'm going to try a scoop of this rich, wonderful chocolate mousse. See what happens. Creamy and velvety. It's a very light mousse, so it's not overpowering, and it absorbs a little bit of the fruitiness in this whiskey, neutralizing the fruitiness but enhancing the chocolatey flavors. I also think that cheese can go very well with this. You know, the port and cheese after dinner effect. A couple of different cheeses and play with the cheeses and see which cheese pairs best. With this wonderful Kavalan Concertmaster finished in 3 different port casks. Excellent. Thank you for watching. See you again tomorrow. More whiskey reviews, whiskey tastings, and whiskey and food pairings to come. Sláinte.